these ideas, they're Marxist ideas. They have been tried before. They are old ideas. This hippie generation, I tell you, these hippies from the 1960s, I just want to take a bong and shove it down their throats. These people that were growing up in the 60s and all part of this whole Marxist movement and love everybody, do you realize, former hippie, that you have sold out every value that you have? Do you realize, hippie boy, that you are now in the pocket of big industry? You are in the pocket of General Electric. You are in the pocket of big government. You don't even know that you've been duped. I mean, you probably killed too many brain cells, and I'm not one to talk. I have more brain cells left from all the dope I smoked than apparently you do. It's amazing to me. What is he doing? Don't trust anyone over 30. All right, let me get to his little caveat. I'm not saying that your parents are stupid. Go ahead, play back.
The old flawed assumptions of the past. Now, don't get me wrong. Your parents and your elders, as you already have figured out, know a lot that you can gain from. But in a period of rapid change, there are times when new understandings are more apparent to young people.
Stop. Give that to me. Give that to me. Tell me, Andy, help me out as a dad. When have new understandings been more apparent to young people? By the way, Lenin called them useful idiots. When have new understandings been?
Well, I believe that's what Hitler did. But Lenin, I mean, they go after the children, and because they're sponges. They'll absorb anything that they're taught. And that's what scares me most about this is the mantras start at the top. This speech is what's coming to your kids' classrooms.
We did a story yesterday on science where they're teaching global warming, and the global warming exercise in New Jersey was being taught by a solar panel company. Imagine global warming being taught by Exxon. You just have to be in the right group. You just have to be in the accepted company. That's it. There is no difference. There's no difference. Here's the one difference. The one difference is the motive. Or is it? That's for you to decide. I don't think Al Gore wants to round up a bunch of Jews. I don't think that's even. I think that's. I hope it is. That's as abhorrent to him as it is to me and you and everybody else. So I don't think that he's going to be putting anybody in any gas chambers. However, what's the next phase of this? Who's the next generation that takes all of this power that we are now giving? That our children say, oh, you guys just don't know. We got to give all the power to these people. What's the next generation? By the way, remember, this isn't exactly a guy who enjoys debate. He will never debate global warming. Never. Not once. The debate is over. I can't say anything. I'm a Holocaust denier. I'm a Holocaust denier for disagreeing with global warming being solved by giant government programs like cap and trade. And who is for cap and trade? GE is for cap and trade. Enron was for cap and trade. The gigantic corporations are for cap and trade because they know they can profit on it because they can control the government because they're in bed with the government. I'm sorry that I'm a Holocaust denier for not wanting to have a fascist state where it is fascism is government and industry as one. I'm sorry I disagree with that. Call me, I don't know, what name could you call me? Ben, Thomas, George, any of those old names, that started the country. But see, they must have been 12 when they did it, and not the age that I learned they were back in school when I was being taught actual facts. Okay, we're listening to a speech given by Al Gore on Inauguration Day to a bunch of preteens and teenagers. This was recorded by a 12-year-old that was invited to this speech. They could ask questions. However, the questions were given to the kids to be able to ask Al Gore. And he had just said that there are things that you understand that your parents don't understand because you're in school and there are new ideas coming at you, and the parents just don't understand. Now he says there's 3 crises that are facing the United States right now in the globe. And he's gone through them, and we pick it up now where he's talking about, of course, global warming.
And if a baby has a fever, you go to the doctor. And if it keeps going up, you take the doctor's recommendation usually. Well, you might want a second opinion. We've gotten a second opinion and a third and a fourth. We still really haven't done anything about it. Barack Obama wants to do something about it. But today...
Stop for a second. Notice that the baby all of a sudden hasn't had a fever in 10 years. Hasn't had a fever in 10 years. In fact, if the globe continues to cool at the rate that it's been cooling for the last 10 years... Sorry, how many years, Stu? Last 3 years. If the globe continues to cool at the rate of the last 3 years, we will be in the next ice age by 2100. So the baby doesn't have a fever anymore. Maybe we should notice that the symptoms have changed. That's why, by the way, I refuse to say climate change. It was global warming, but now it's climate change. And it's climate change because everybody knows it's cooler. It hasn't gotten warmer for the last 10 years. And it's cooling rapidly in the last 3. So the only way you can explain that is not global warming. It's climate change. That's right, of course. It's changing so rapidly, so cool because of climate change. Yes, that's what the climate does. It changes.
Today, January 19, 2009, we will put 70 million tons of this global warming pollution into the Earth's atmosphere.
Global warming pollution.
A lot of people think it's okay.
Stop. Is there anybody that thinks putting global warming pollution in the air is okay? We have a difference of opinion on whether or not it is warming the globe, which apparently it's not in the last 10 years. There's nobody out there that's like, yep, I just want to live in really smoky skies.
Outside, you look up at the sky. The sky seems like a huge place. How could we possibly have any impact on it? Just like they used to go out on the ground and look at the sun rise in the east and set in the west and conclude that the sun went around the earth. They were wrong then, and anybody who thinks that it's okay to put all this pollution up there is wrong today. We have to change it.
Okay, stop just a second. There is your teaching your children, if you disagree with Al Gore, a former vice president and Nobel how do you compete with that, Mom and Dad? A Nobel Prize winning scientist, I guess, then you believe in the flat earth.
The entire North Polar ice cap is melting. Sea levels are rising.
Southern is getting bigger.
You know the story. It has to be dealt with. And you have to help us deal with it because you're not encumbered with these old assumptions that it's okay just to put all the pollution up there.
Gosh, have you noticed they continue to say the northern ice cap is melting, but they don't say the southern ice cap? Why is that? Does heat rise? I'm sorry, who's to say what north is up and that south is down? Does heat rise? Why, if it's global warming, is it not warming everywhere, Al Gore? Again, Al Gore talking to 12-year-olds in Washington. Here's what he said, and listen to the cheers.
And you have the solution right in your hands, renewable energy. It's time for us to end our dependence on dirty coal and foreign oil and go to solar power and wind power and geothermal.
Solar power and wind power, 12-year-olds, unite! The answer is here. More on this tonight at 5 on Fox.